Hey guys, what's up? This is Eagz. In today's video, this is me responding to the Doaenel and Agurin stuff. I know this is like a week or two old, but I've just been super busy with coaching and all that and haven't really had time to actually do one of these videos. So I thought I would react to this. Lots of people have like told me that, you know, Doaenel mentioned you and all this stuff. But yeah, this is on Agurin's channel. Maybe I'll link the, you know, his stuff and Doaenel stuff down below. But anyway, yeah, this is my reaction to this like little debate they have. For a little bit of context, Doaenel is advocating the proactive jungling. Well, not only is there two playstyles to jungling, you know, being proactive and reactive, but he's saying that he is the proactive jungler, and that's his playstyle, and maybe the superior playstyle, and he's labeled Agurin as a reactive jungler. Agurin hasn't come out and said that he's a reactive jungler. Doaenel just labeled him that, and now everyone's, you know, like, I've been asked questions in sessions like, what do you think? What's better? What's this? And I'm just going to break it all down for you here. So what we're going to do, I listened to the first 6 minutes and just paused it where he like kind of mentioned me or Doaenel mentions me. And what we're just going to do is watch up until that point, and then maybe afterwards I'm going to give my reaction, and I'll probably do so, like, you know, give some live thoughts as we go through it, okay?
Hold her W and I can EQ. And I'm low.
Losing to this guy's just so annoying because, like, he doesn't... Whatever, it's fine. But yeah, look, it's right here.
I mean, for me, I would say about myself that I'm not that good mechanically. I can play my champs, but I excel very much at macro game. My opinion of myself.
Agurin says you grief by only taking his blue. Well, no, because the thing is, I pathed my top side to secure my top side because I didn't think he would insta-path my blue. I thought he would reset after instead of pathing straight up. And then the problem here, right, is that our Poppy decides to get solo killed by Rumble. Right here. Over here, she decides to get solo killed by Rumble.
The thing is, though, for him, right now, at this point, at this exact point, he has to turn instantly away.
After she gets solo killed, I come here and then I'm fucked. But over here, this is my bad. Because if I would have just backed off and cleared, right? Clear Grom, clear Wolves, like, it would have been so good, but... Yeah, then I just decided wrong.
Why is he not seeing my face rush dodge? This face rush kiting was so good.
But
it was like such a... Because you can... What you should do, like what every normal guy does, is hit him, right? But I don't hit him. I walk away, so he doesn't hit me and proc face rush and run away. Guys, he's working...
Agurin is one of the best solo queue junglers in the world.
They're so
do
good.
You know why?
His squids are so good.
So, what you have to understand is when it comes to jungling, there are two types of playstyles that you can have. Proactive and reactive jungling, okay? The two types of playstyles. The best players on the planet, Agurin, I will tell you right now, is the best player on the planet when it comes to reactive jungling, okay? He's the kind of guy where he doesn't force plays of his own. He just responds to what the enemy jungler does and maximizes the amount of gain that he can make from that, okay? And the reason why it's tilting, right? Well, not tilting.
Okay, wait a second. Just because he made a very big mistake, and I punished his mistake, it doesn't mean that I'm forcing things. For me, I only force high percentage plays and not bad plays. I just don't do 30-40% plays. That's the thing. It doesn't have to be reactive or you know.
Every game.
I can see what he says. I can understand what he says. Pro play is a fucking different game. Because you actually know for sure that what your teammates will tell you. If your teammates will say, hey, I'm gonna do this and this, I will have this and this, then you know what you're getting. In solo queue, random shit. Sometimes people just don't go. Sometimes people, you know, they don't listen. Or they randomly die. Or any random shit happens. So you have to take this into your account, right? You have to differentiate between what is a good play and what is a bad play, and not between what is active, what is proactive, in my opinion.
I'm going to take 0% risk plays. I'm going to play off the enemy making mistakes, and then I'll capitalize off that. Whereas when I'm playing the game, the difference of my play style, right, is learning from Tarzan, right, learning from Eagz, learning from all these people, is that it's almost like you sit there and you do proactive jungling, which is like you sit there, you coordinate invades, you look at prio, you abuse prio for all these kinds of things, right? When Agurin plays jungle, Agurin plays the role of jungle. because that is what reactive jungling is. When you play, right, proactive jungling, you play the entire game. So that's why losing versus him feels annoying, because it's almost like, dude, it's two completely different game styles. And if you're not a jungler and a high level jungler at that, you wouldn't understand what I'm getting at. But there's a difference between trying to make plays that put you in a position.
A bad play is not good just because it's a proactive play. It doesn't make the play better just because it's proactive. The best play sometimes you can do is not making a play. Example, if you're trading bot lane, right, you're being proactive. Your jungler is pathing away. Enemy jungler is pathing to you. The best play you can make is not playing, not taking the trades. You can be proactive, but it's fucking bad. You will get punished. The best play, I mean, just for bot lane, is, for example, is not making a play. The same goes for jungling. Sometimes doing an invade or doing something is worse than doing nothing, just being efficient and farming.
To win the game versus not making plays that put you in a position to lose games. And Agurin, right, he's perfected the play style of not losing games. But that's the reason why you see his win rate is what, 65%? Why is it only 65 as one of his best?
Okay, if he starts arguing with fucking win rate, I'm gonna puke. Because win rate is a skewed statistic. If I start Agurin 4, I will have a 95%.
Okay, this is kind of irrelevant. I just wanted to pause it here, guys, because I think I've got enough from this to, like, kind of give you my ideas and thoughts. What I just want to say here is that when I coached Doaenel, and the first time I watched him play, there was nothing about the enemy jungler at all. Nothing at all. Now, I've said in videos that... Let me just get my little epic pen out here. Where is he? There he is. I've said in videos and coaching sessions that this is pretty much what challenger jungling is, okay? So what I'm going to explain to you guys here is pretty much that when people jungle, they think about two things and two things only. They think about lanes, and they think about their own camps. So they think about pretty much one half of the map, right? And they think about their lanes. Oh my god, I've got a Vayne, I need to help her scale. Oh, they've got a Kayle. I've even been asked, like, how do I stop a Kayle from scaling? Or how do I help my Kayle scale? Or I've got a cast in mid, I need to, like, protect him so we win the game. So they think about their own lanes, and I'm not saying you don't. Of course you should, like, look at the champions you have, summoner spells, you know, so you can anticipate early game fighting. Is it TP? Is it Ignite? So you think about lanes, and you think about your camp. So in terms of, like, where you start and how you path. Like, do you want to path bot? Most people think like this. I want to path towards bot lane, so I'm going to clear top to bot. If I want to path top lane, I go bot to top. That's how most people think, right? What I do, and any challenger jungler is going to do, you add into this equation the enemy jungler and the enemy camps. You have 4 pieces to the puzzle, bro. The reason why Doaenel thinks like he does right now is because of this. When I first coached him, right, and I saw other coaches coaching him who I've never really, like, you know, seen content off before, but anyway, like, how they were coaching him is just, like, absolute nonsense. And they weren't teaching him really, like, what challenger jungling is. He was missing, guess what? This and this. Maybe he had a little bit of this, right? Taking camps. It's quite simple, like, taking camps, right? Oh, yeah, like, you know, enemy jungler's bot side, let me take his top side. But he wasn't thinking about the enemy jungler here, right? And this is a big reason why he's saying proactive stuff. So remember, we have laners, and then we have your own camps. And if Doaenel had a bit of this before, right, thinking about the enemy's camps and what was up, if they show on the map, he can punish them, right, in terms of counter jungling. He wasn't thinking at all about enemy jungler. And this is probably where he's got this proactive idea from. That in order to be, like, a proactive jungler, you have to invade the enemy jungler. I was, like, giving him, and if you watch those sessions I've done with him, I was giving him that much, like, kind of encouragement to do this because he wasn't thinking about it at all. So if we think about it, what I essentially was doing was just pushing him into the deep end, bro. That's it. I want to push this guy so he just permanently thinks about the enemy jungler because he wasn't doing anything. And if you're a jungler, it's the most important thing when you jungle. What is the enemy jungler going to be doing here? How is he going to look at the game? Where's he going to be pathing? Oh, he's got 12 CS. What camps are up? What buffs does he have when he shows? There was nothing of that. Enemy jungler shows, he doesn't even look at him, right? Now it's got to the point where he thinks this is like the only playstyle here. When it really isn't. there has to be a balance between all of these, right? So lanes, enemy jungle, like your own camps, and enemy camps as well, yeah? There has to be a balance between these four things. And with that, right, if you're going to go for an invade, or you're going to go for an invade on camps, either or, you are taking into account the conditions attached to those plays, which are always there, by the way. So whenever I coach someone, right, it might be like, pretty much what I say to people is, and it might sound a little bit fucking, you know, like try hard, but I am like the personification, if you will, of the minimap, your gold, and maybe your score as well in the scoreboard. That's what I am. So when I coach people, that's why I can go into any game, and if you ask Agurin, he could go into any game, any like actual challenger player can go into any game, bro, and coach someone straight away. Lots of coaches who I've seen have to like go through the game beforehand. I can just like jump into a game and see what's going on and tell you all the best players based on those factors which are always there. And like Agurin said, there is not proactive or reactive. And lots of people talk to me about like aggressive, defensive. To me, that is nonsense as well. Those are just descriptive words. I'm not thinking, oh, we've got to be aggressive here. We've got to be defensive here. I just look at the minimap, take into account the time and probably the history as well. So what the enemy jungler's done and what laners have done and what's probably going to happen in the future, right? Because to know the future, we have to know the past. That's why we have to look at buffs. When the enemy jungler shows what buffs they have, how much CS do they have, therefore what camps have they done. And that will probably dictate what they're going to do in the future, right? All I'm doing, man, is taking into account all of those conditions and putting those conditions into the best decision possible that revolves around you gaining and potentially your team as well. I mean, your team gains if you gain, right? But you gaining as a jungler and this person, the enemy jungler, losing. Both of you can gain if you full clear. I'm not saying full clearing is bad, but it's better if you can not only clear your camps, but do it in a way that leads you potentially to like killing the enemy jungler or taking theirs as well through like pressure and stuff. Now, of course, there are situations if you're playing Evelyn and you have a Cassidy mid, which is just like doomed already in high reloads. There's no way you're going to invade like a J4 Silas, for example. There is no way you do that, right? No way. Of course not. Why? Because we're thinking about the conditions, champion strengths, and also like who's just going to win 2v2. So I'm never going to tell someone, look, man, because you're playing Evelyn, you know, let's get used to this invading playstyle. It's not a playstyle. I'm going to tell them, you're playing Evelyn, all your goal should be is just to hit level 3 or level 4 without being 0-2. That's it. So whether we go Red Raptors Krugs into a base for a Dark Seal, so we're a little bit stronger in case they invade our blue buff, or if we go like maybe like a reverse clear, like Red Blue Gromp back down, so we avoid a hit on our walls. If we go like Krugs Raptors after that, so we finish in the middle of the map, so we can go to either crab instead of being isolated at one of the Krugs. These are the conditions, man, that Agurin is talking about here that determine like a good and a bad play. But Doaenel thinks about the game very kind of like, how do I put it? It's very polarizing, right? Like it's either proactive or reactive. No one thinks like, right, let me be proactive here. You're just going to make a play based on those conditions, and anyone else can describe them however they want. It means absolutely nothing, right? We are trying to think about the game scientifically in a way. So we're looking at just the facts. This jungler is here. This jungler is here. What's the best play based on the lane states? What's the best play, based on maybe gold spend? So if, like, let's just say one jungler has a dust blade at 8 minutes. Maybe instead of just doing Rift Herald, if you know the enemy jungler is going to their blue buff like this, instead of doing Rift Herald, maybe we can just bypass it, jump over the wall as Talon with our Dustblade and kill them, and we always come back to Rift Herald, which is free, right? Lots of people say, wow, that's really aggressive, man. You could have just like full cleared into a free Rift Herald. And I'm like, all your camps are still going to be there, right? So you can call it aggressive, but I'm just thinking scientifically and maybe logically here. So that's my like opinion on this topic. Doaenel, what he says, I think anyway, is just wrong, because there is no playstyle. I was just telling him to like think about the enemy jungle. It doesn't have to be like invading, and even in my jungle course, which has like 150k views now, so massive shout out to everyone who's watched that and likes it and has learned from it. The first thing I say is like the jungle role is a 1v1, which it is, but that doesn't mean you just go in and invade someone, right? Of course not. Sometimes you have to be, if you're playing Evelyn or First Strike Kayn and you're versing a Warwick, Trundle, these early game champions who are stronger. They are early game champions who are stronger than you. So therefore, you have to try to avoid them. The worst thing that can happen to you if you're one of those champions is dying on, let's just say, your second buff, and you lose the buff and Gromp or Krugs, etc., and now you're really far behind. Unless the enemy jungler trolls. Like the enemy jungler might, I don't know, level 2 gank top lane, and you can vertical jungle and kind of get to level 4 free of charge. I have no idea, man, what like the blueprint is, because there is no blueprint, bro. There is no blueprint to League of Legends and jungling at the highest level. All it is is looking at the minimap and reacting to it, and of course the scoreboard and the time and your gold and all that stuff, and reacting to it and making the best play possible based on getting the most amount of gold possible, and hopefully denying the enemy champions as well. So if we think about it, like Doaenel's version of proactive jungling is actually reactive jungling, but he's doing it to the extent where it's flippy, and that's why potentially anyway, I'm not saying he is, but he's probably not, well, ever going to get to the LP of Agurin's going to get, or these other like high challenger junglers, simply because that is the difference. He does it way too much when those conditions don't back him up. So he might look at that information and think, oh, I'm playing Hecarim with, let's just say he has Conqueror in a game against an Evelynn. I'm just going to run in there. Even though I don't have double prio, I'm just going to run in there. But Evelynn's full HP. She's got her first base off, so she has like Darkseer Lambtone. She's not like the squishiest champion in the world, I guess, anymore. It's not like she's hitting her red buff, you know, level 3 half HP, and you just come in and kill her. Doesn't matter if she flashes or not. So she might be full HP level 4 with her flash up, and maybe her lanes are good with prio, and you still go for that play. Those are the conditions, man, you're looking at. That's what you're reacting to. And Doaenel takes it to the point where it becomes flippy simply because he doesn't actually kind of like respect sometimes those conditions and what the map, time, scoreboard, etc. are telling him. So hopefully that clears it up, man. If you guys want to call it aggressive, proactive, reactive jungling, those are all just words that mean nothing to me. It is a science at the end of the day. That's actually what I truly believe. Even yesterday, I was doing a coaching session with someone and he asked me about Agurin's playstyle. Like, he full clears every game. I completely disagree with that, like every single game, and he was like, yeah, he does it every game. So I was just going off, you know, that student's word. I don't watch Agurin. And the first kind of actually video I watched was him playing J4 against a Rek'Sai, and the Rek'Sai was actually this guy, epilogue for you, and the Rek'Sai invaded Agurin on his wolves, because the Rek'Sai knew he went like this, or started red buff, and Agurin had to flash over this wall. That, to me, is just like kind of brain-dead jungling in a way. But after that, what Agurin does is going to be close to perfect based on those conditions. So once he, you know, finishes his full clear, if he does, in some games, after that, man, he's going to jungle perfectly, for the most part. Like, in terms of whether I can kill this lane, do I go there? Do I reset and protect my Krugs? I even saw one clip, someone linked me, where he, like, reset and ran to the Talia's Raptors, because they were respawning, so he got there on time at, you know, 4 minutes and cleared them. That's great jungling, man. That's what I'm talking about. So I don't know if I fully agree with him full clearing every game, but hopefully that clears it up. So guys, thank you for watching. If you have any questions about any of this, I don't know if I like clarified things fully, but I'm kind of, yeah, I just want to get this out there, and yeah, hopefully the video is useful to you. Thank you for watching. I've got so many sessions recently on Patreon with every player from every single elo, bronze all the way to like master challenger. So please check out the Patreon if you want access to them. If you want one-on-one coaching, my website is linked down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't be shit, bye.